Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's encode the logic. I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, we are going to discuss a program that is swap of two numbers. So this program is very important during the interviews. Most of the interviews ask you to do this program. At first, what is a swap? Let us say I have a basket B1 which contains oranges and a basket B2 which contains apples. Now, I have given a task that in the basket B1, we need to have only apples, and in the basket B2, we need to have oranges. Then what you will do? You will shift all the oranges in the basket B1 to the basket B2 and all the apples from basket B2 to basket B1. So this kind of shifting from the basket B1 to basket B2 is called as swap. We swap the oranges in the B1 to B2 and then apples in the B2 to B1. So now in programming, we need to swap two variables. We have two variables, a and b, and a equal to 2 and b equal to 5. Now, then we will get a equal to 5 and b equal to 2. For this swapping, we need to do programming, nothing but coding. So before doing coding, at first we need to have a logic. So basically what happens was, whenever we declare a variable and initialize it with some value, then within the CPU, within the registers, that value will be stored. So let us say this is the register A and which holds the value 2. And this is the register B which holds the value 5. Okay, in this way the variables will be stored internally in the CPU. So now we need to keep 2 in the register B and 5 in the register A. Right? So what could be the logic? My logic was very simple. At first, I read the value in the register A and then I'll keep it in the register B. And similarly, I read the value in the register B and then keep it in a register A. So, okay, let's do that. At first, I will read the value in the register A and then keep it in the register B. What I will do, I'll keep it here. Now I completed this rule. And then I will read the value in the register B and then copy it in the A. Now, if I read the value in the register B, it was 2. And if I copy it in the register A, it was 2. So, both are 2 and 2. But what should be the output? The output should be like 5 and 2. But if I follow this logic, then the output was 2 and 2. So, somehow our logic was wrong. So, we need to change our logic. So, what actually happening? So, we have this register and this register here 2 and then 5, right? Whenever we read the value in the register A and then copy it in the register B, then automatically the value in the register B was disappearing. But we need the value in the register B also. So what we need to do? We can either store it in some random variable, some random register. We can't lose that value B, right? For that purpose, we need to store the value of B in some temporary variable, some temporary register. So this is some temporary register which will hold the value of B, that was 5. Now my value was preserved. Let's do now. So this is how it was. My first step was, at first I read B and store it in some temporary variable, right? And my second step was, I will read A and store it in B. Now B will hold the value of 2. And my third step was I will read the temporary variable and I will store it in the register A. Register A will hold the value of temporary, that was 5. So if we see, A will hold the value of 5 and B will hold the value of 2. So now if you see, the values in both the registers are swapped. So in this way, we will swap two numbers. In this way, the internal mechanism of swapping of two numbers will be happen. So let's execute this logic in the ideally. Okay, let's write the logic first. So stack, this is the logic part. I will read B and then I will store it in the temporary variable. Right. And the second thing was I read A now. I will store it in the B. And then I will read the temporary and I kept it in the register A. So this is the whole logic. Now let's implement this in a code format. At first, we need to take A and B values from the user. I will do int of input of enter the value A. And similarly, B int of input of enter the value B. Implement this logic now. So I will take a temporary variable and I will store the value of B in the temporary variable. And then I will keep the value of A in B and then I'll keep the value of temporary variable in register in the variable A. Now let's print the values of A and B after swap. The values of A and B after the swapping. A equal to sum A print B equal to B. Let's also print the values of A and B before swapping. So this was before. So these three lines are the main logic. Okay, now let's run this program. So f4.py. So I will give the value 2 and then 5. So if you see, the values of A and B before swapping was 2 and 5. And the values of A and B after swapping, they are A equal to 5 and then B equal to 2. In this way, we will swap two numbers. Okay. This time I will swap 200 and 300. So before swapping, it was 200 and 300. After swapping, it was 300 and 200. In this way, the swapping will be done. So this is the main logic part. And we follow the same approach and same logic in the C programming and the C++ and the Java also. In Python, instead of all these three lines, we can implement the same in a single line also. Let's remove this. Instead of a temporary variable, we will do A comma B is equal to B comma A. So then what happens? The value of A will become B and the value of B will become A. This was a multiple assignment. If I run this program now, let's see what will happen. Have given some 25 and then 20. So if you see, the values of A and B before swapping was 25 and then 20, and after swapping, it was 20 and 25. In this way, the swapping bill works. Hey folks, if you enjoyed this coding tutorial and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Share it with your fellow coding buddies, drop a comment with your thoughts or questions, and of course, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Your support means a lot and it helps our community grow. Happy coding!